Let's talk about how to market to Gen Z in 2025. First, I'm going to throw a few stats at you just in case you or somebody else you know is underestimating this generation just a bit. Gen Z's global purchasing power is more than $450 billion. Not only that, but Gen Z accounts for 40% of consumers worldwide. That also means that by 2030, Gen Z is going to represent 17% of the global retail spend. Gen Z also has more than $360 billion in disposable income. This generation is likely the most important one to focus on if you're an e-commerce brand in 2025. So let's talk about how you can adapt your brand to really take advantage of this market. Over 80% of Gen Z actively uses YouTube, which makes it their most trusted social media channel. So let's talk about how you can leverage YouTube for your brand. Gen Z uses YouTube the way that older generations might use Netflix. It's there for entertainment, product information, reviews, everything. Although I'm a millennial, I used YouTube to learn everything that I know about video production and editing over the years. And that's more and more common. In fact, 90% of Gen Z watch YouTube to learn new skills. So if you've got an e-commerce brand and you're looking to attract more Gen Z viewers, consider creating more tutorials and unbiased reviews of even competitors' products. Let's say you've got a hiking shoe brand. If you create a YouTube channel where you're reviewing hiking gear, even reviewing rival shoe brands, you're more likely to get Gen Z customers. The authority and trustworthiness that you build by saying, hey, here's what we think about these brands and we might not be the best fit for every single consumer is invaluable and will almost certainly lead to more sales. That's because Gen Z places a really high value on truthful and credible information, which honestly everybody should. In contrast to YouTube, Facebook and Instagram lag behind in terms of trustworthiness. In fact, only 28 to 30% of Gen Z consider those platforms trustworthy. Now, you might be used to adapting all of your content to shorts and reels, but actually 59% of Gen Z users use short form videos to discover long form videos. And actually, they're spending 50% more time watching long form videos. So when you're planning out your content strategy, don't write off YouTube. Consider making longer, more transparent and honest videos where you review products, give explanations, and give your own opinions. Honestly, when I was doing research for this, I was like, are my videos long enough? Am I being opinionated enough? Anyway, share your opinions, humanize your brand, and most of all, use your short form content to guide people to longer form content. You might already be offering buy now and pay later services for your brand, but let me explain why this is so important in 2025. Over 55% of Gen Z shop with buy now, pay later. Plus, the market for buy now, pay later services is set to grow over 16% annually. And it might seem counterintuitive, but even when their funds are low, Gen Z is not going to stop buying. So if your brand doesn't offer a solution specifically for them, then they're going to go to a different one that does. It's this next generation of instant gratification within e-commerce. Gen Z is also embracing account-to-account payments, also known as pay by bank. It's mainly driven by this desire for faster, secure, more convenient payment options. In fact, 36% of 18 to 29-year-olds use the pay by bank method every single week. So if you're looking to integrate these services into your brand, you can check out one of the most popular, Shop Pay. Two of the big ones I'm sure that you've heard of are also Afterpay and Klarna. But the overall message here is simple. If you haven't offered buy now, pay later services yet, you should in 2025. Previous generations mainly relied on advertising, Google search results, and professional reviews when deciding what to buy. Gen Z, however, frequently turns to social media, like platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, to make those product decisions. So let's talk about how to create product content for social. First off, don't underestimate the power of micro-influencers. This doesn't have to be somebody who's a professional content creator. It can just be a friend who's got several thousand followers and pretty decent engagement. And also think about how you research products yourself. And when you really think about it, the platform doesn't really matter. It's the information you're communicating and the tone you're using to communicate it. So if you want to communicate that your brand's hiking boots are long-lasting, steel-tipped, triple-insulated, whatever, then you can communicate that to the micro-influencer who's going to be reviewing your products. They're likely going to parrot this same information in their own reviews. You also want them to be completely honest when they're doing this, and that might mean mixing pros and cons. Even if the only con they mention is just that it doesn't work for all types of hiking and it's better for very specific cold mountain hikes. When you're creating your own product content, also make sure that you're incorporating a lot of long tail keywords. And that might mean making content that says, people often ask me, what are the best kind of hiking boots for cold mountain climbs? Just putting a question like that in your video and captioning it is going to help you get a lot more customers who are already Googling best hiking boots for cold climbs. It seems obvious, but most people don't do this. Now, if you're running paid ads, you should absolutely be exploring search ads. 55% of TikTok users use the platform to discover new products. That's why these ads are so effective, because you're reaching people in the place where they're starting to do their research. So to summarize, if you're working and spending time to get guest posts and blog posts that review your products, stop, and redirect that energy into search ads, micro-influencer campaigns, and honest content in 2025. E-commerce is no longer just about giving people the product they're looking for. It's about trust. And in 2025, that's what leads to sales. Gen Z is making sure that brands' values align with their own. That means that you could have a product that solves every single one of their problems, but they might still go to a competitor if you don't have the same values, beliefs as they do. 64% of Gen Z are willing to spend more money on a brand that they feel loyal to. Plus, 36% of Gen Z have boycotted a brand in the past year. So how do you do this for your own brand? I mean, one way is to take a stance. Don't avoid social issues, speak up. I mean, 50% of Gen Z believes that brands should be taking stances on social issues. Another important way to build trust with Gen Z is to implement eco-friendly practices and values. 68% of Gen Z are eco-friendly shoppers. And it makes sense. With climate change accelerating, Gen Z, Gen Alpha are the ones that are going to be paying the price. So they're going to do what they can to create a better future. And a big part of that is deciding what brands to shop from, even if that includes paying more. Gen Z is more willing than any other generation to pay 50 or 100% more for products that are sustainable. And another important pillar of trust, which we already talked about, is YouTube. Consider that 59% of Gen Z considers YouTube to be either trustworthy or very trustworthy. So if you're looking for a platform to communicate your brand values, that's where I'd start. Did you know that 74% of Gen Z prefer shopping on their phones versus any other device? That's why you need to optimize everything for mobile. In fact, when you design your website, make sure that you design for mobile first and then desktop. So why do this, aside from the obvious? It'll boost your search engine rankings because Google prioritizes mobile-friendly websites first. You'll get faster load times on mobile, which means less people are going to bounce. And because by 2027, mobile devices are set to account for 88% of e-com shopping. I mean, between product discovery and conversion, time is your enemy. Sites like Temu, Amazon are revered because they make this gap of time very, very small. You want the fewest possible roadblocks between them discovering and buying, which means prioritizing guest checkouts, providing buy now, pay later options, and requiring the smallest amount of data possible to complete the transaction. To get started, check out tools like Page Speed Insights, where you can really see how mobile optimized your site is. To help increase conversions and build loyalty, you can also use tools like Mage Native to build a mobile app specifically for your brand. You can also use tools like TinyImage to make sure that your website's images are compressed and load quickly, and that's hugely important in 2025. That's it for right now. We've got a lot more of these trends to come, so make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.